guys, we're about to go leave to go see Killing Grounds, which is an Australian film, I believe was filmed in New South Wales. As I normally say, I didn't actually watch the trailer for this one. I've been wary of trailers, obviously, you guys know that from what I can tell. It is about a family, or maybe two people. They go on a camping trip and then they discover like a bloody scene and I guess disturbing things follow. Dean's actually going to come with me to see this one. I convinced him. Something cool also is after the screening there is a Q&A with one of the actors, which I'm really excited about. I'll see if I can film something. I've asked them, but they never got back to me. I probably don't think that it's gonna happen, but I'll let you guys know if he says anything or he or she says anything that is worth mentioning. Anyway, let's go. Guys, we just finished watching Killing Ground. I'm sure I called it Killing Grounds before. Please forgive me. I swear it's an Australian thing. Okay, it's my thing. I always add an S to everything. I used to get in trouble for it all the time. Anyway, just finished watching it. I would recommend, highly recommend. I have not been so happy leaving a film that I was not so sure about for such a long time, if that makes any sense. The film was very, very independent, if you know what I mean. And going in there, I was very surprised to be coming out so happy. It's a very Australian film for a lot of reasons, but when I say it's very independent, I felt like the first couple of shots or scenes really were a little bit overexposed or weren't graded properly, because it was just like really hot shots, if you get what I mean. But from there going on, no more issues. The story really took over and I loved it. I don't know what to say. I really loved it. As I said before, the story is about a little bit different to what I thought, but I will say it is a film that leaves up to the audience for interpretation. Not really interpretation, but doesn't spell everything out for you, which is great, because this is the issue with independent film or like student film or anything like that. You feel like you really have to speak to the audience and dumb them down, and I know I say that term a lot, but this is why, because films like this, they have a low budget, and then they also just leave it up to the audience to be fucking smart. And that's what I really liked about this film. There is a couple of aspects that, unless you're kind of thinking that you have to look for stuff, you won't really realize what's going on. And I really like that. There's a whole lot of layers in the film, which is obviously a really good sign, especially for independent film. We did go see the premiere in Perth, where I live, and it did have a Q&A with Aaron Pedersen, which was great. He's the guy who plays German. He was amazing, and before I butcher whatever I'm going to say about the film, I did film a little bit of his Q&A, and he had a really great message to bring to the film. The film is called Killing Ground, and I feel like a lot of people won't pull out what that actually means. So this is his interpretation right now of why it's called that, kind of like the title, and explaining that and explaining the message behind that. Also his interpretation of his role as an Indigenous person playing the baddie, which I thought was really interesting, and I'm really glad he addressed it. So this is his clip right now.
I believed, and we talked about the land being sick, being infected, and that it was toxic and there was a poison to it because people hadn't really paid respect and tribute to what had taken place in that area previously. It being a massacre site, it turned into a tourist place where people can camp. So from that, I was able to build an idea with the character that it just wasn't a madness, but it was a sickness, and it was an illness that we as people overlook because of our behaviour. So the violent thing wasn't necessarily something I went and researched or looked at or tried to understand. I just believed that it was just drawn up through the land, and then through that the sickness came through the characters of Chook and German. And so then we were able to think that we were being smarter about it rather than it being a colour thing or a race thing. It was just about treatment and violence, and if you don't acknowledge the cycle of it, then people become sick, you know, and that was really simple, yeah.
I thought that was really well spoken and really important to include, especially if you have seen the film. It will make a lot more sense to you now. There's so many different layers to this film, although it is a film just really primarily about violence. And the film isn't just about, you know, going back to a campsite and seeing a busted up toddler, which is what the blurb actually says. It is about a whole lot of different stuff, but mainly it is a brutal semi-revenge film. I want to say that it reminded me in a way of Eden Lake, but it is 16 times more brutal completely. And you watched Eden Lake with me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really brutal. It's one of those kind of revenge, going out to a campsite and having, you know, like the predator prey situation with humans. I thought it was done in a really original way, and for that I'm going to give it a personal score of 7. I thought it was fantastic. As I said before, the film at the start, like looks wise, cinematography wise, was a little bit off, but when the story picked up, everything else picked up, and the acting was superb. Scare score as well, I'm going to give it a 7 just for how brutal it was. And I want to say in that, if you are worried about watching brutal scenes, and I know a lot of you guys out there are totally right in worrying about watching brutal sexual conduct, this film does have a little bit of that, but it does leave a lot of it up to the audience, because it doesn't want to assume you're so dumb that you won't realize what's going on. So a lot of it is assumed, but it's just really, really intense and hard to watch at times. And for originality, I'm going to give it a 7 as well, because I thought it was super original. Although it's, you know, a camping outside, human gonna come get ya, fucking deliverance bullshit, it had such a unique storyline to it, and a story that hadn't been told before, because it's about the Australian bush. Although, you know, we have our Lake Mungos, we have our long weekends,
Wolf Creek.
yeah, we have our Wolf Creek. It pays a lot of tribute to actual culture here, which I really, really liked. Dean also really liked it, which was very surprising, and I'm so glad Dean came and saw this with me, because so many films I pick, he's just not a fan. So do you want to say anything about what you thought?
No, I just liked the way it was put together, without sort of giving it away, but I like the layers to it. So
I hope you guys enjoy this film, and I'll talk to you very soon. Stay spooky, guys. Bye.